And we're going. Hello, Internet. Welcome back to the Weirdo Watchlist Podcast, the podcast that's slightly off, where we talk about movies from the Weirdo Watchlist and other movies, new and old, that we've just seen in the past weeks between recordings. My name is Mikey. That is the co-host over there, Sam.
Hello.
How are you doing? What have you been watching?
I've been watching a lot of shit because I'm sick. You know I'm sick.
Yeah.
The last day of it, so I've been doing nothing but watching movies. I also went on a vacation. That's how I got sick, and I watched movies on the way out there, and then I've been watching movies. So
Where'd you go on vacation? I didn't know about that part.
I went to Seattle.
Ooh.
Flew into Seattle, then drove out to the ocean. Went around the Olympic National Park. Went down to Portland for a day, and yeah. Anyway. Got sick from it, traveling. But I watched Emilia Perez. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. I've been hearing so many, varying things, it's that Oscar movie of the season where, no one knows why it got nominated, and then people are saying, it's good, though!
Are nominations out yet, or no?
They come out the 17th, so this is one of the short-listed ones, people are expecting it to get nominated.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It would fit in that, but there, you know what it's about?
I know it's a musical, and there's some sort of transgender theme, but of the three major transgender movies this year, this is Emilia Perez is the worst one, because we've also got The People's Joker, and I Saw the TV Glow.
Oh yeah, I still haven't seen that People's Joker.
It's solid. I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
I might check it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, Emilia Perez, so it's about a trans woman, and the performance is great, and I think the actress is a trans woman.
Okay.
So I mean, that part didn't bother me too much, and I saw some reviews that were that was they handled it poorly, and there's a part where they sing some very on the nose shit, and it's the first time they really speak English in the movie, and you're like,
yeah.
Why are they just talking about genitals so much right now? But otherwise, it's actually really good. It doesn't fully stick landings, but as a musical, it has a really, really unique, crunch to it, I guess. It none of the musical numbers feel like just a big number, except for that one I'm talking about where they say penis to vagina, vagina to penis. But can I say that on the podcast?
It's fine.
Oh, thank God. Because I'm going to say it way more often now. But no, I don't know. It was a cool take on a musical, and I liked it. I recommend it.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah, I know Zoe Saldana's in it, and it's interesting to see her, in a movie that's not, her covered in makeup or a CGI alien woman.
Yeah.
So I think that's
great.
a big thing people have wanted to see out of her is just not in front of James Cameron or Kevin Feige. So good for her for getting that shot.
Yeah. So tell me one you've watched. That's one I watched on vacation, by the way. I was in the car.
Yeah, I watched. There's a few from this past year that I watched that I do want to mention. I did watch Red Rooms, which is a French Canadian, keeping it with the Frenchies. Which is about not really a courtroom drama, but it's there's this murderer on trial for killing these three teenage girls, and the killers attracted some fanboys or some fangirls. So it follows two of those fangirls as they're kind of just following the case as it's happening,
I've seen this, not the movie, but I know what you're talking about now. Red Rooms, okay.
Yeah. And kind of goes into the dark web and what a red room is, broadcasted the murder, people paid
What is
for
a red room? I don't actually know what that is.
It's
Should I?
No, no reason for you to know it unless you have I guess research the lore of the shady shit that goes on Tor websites in the dark web.
Sure, okay.
It's people pay a lot of money to watch a murder happen live streamed.
Okay.
And it's one of those things that's never been documented to have happened. because like on Tor browsers, I guess like the like bandwidth is so dog shit. Why would anyone bother live streaming?
Yeah.
But now we're at the point where it's like that could happen. But again, it's like one of those like dark web rumors that go around, like hitmen for hire websites and other just like deplorable shit that goes like like further steps beyond just like buying drugs.
But this movie is. Your voice just sounded so different for a second. Wow.
I'm a ghost. I doubt it'll pick up on the podcast. Maybe that's just specifically.
I can't
on your
wait
end.
to listen back to that. You just sound like a different person.
It's not gonna. It's not gonna happen. You won't listen to it on the podcast.
All right, I'm crazy. So Red Rooms. Go back to Red Rooms. Sorry.
Yeah. You're gonna mention something.
I was asking actually what is it about? So it's about Red Rooms.
Yeah, it's like like a woman like following a murder case as it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then like kind of just like loses touch with reality and like morality.
Okay.
It's hard to really describe because it's also best served like without knowing a whole lot going into it. But it has, I think, one of the most bone-chilling scenes in a movie of the past year.
Okay. Word.
Yeah, I was like fucking shaken because it was just so fucking effective, and it's hardly even like a regular jump scare.
Is it streaming somewhere like Netflix?
I paid to rent it. It might have jumped to Movie.
It's very noble of you.
Yeah.
We all thank you.
No, okay. You can rent it for a few dollars on like Amazon, Vudu, Apple TV.
Okay, word.
So very very limited options, but it's available to watch.
Yeah. Okay. And what did you give it out of 5? I didn't see it.
4 out of 5. Very fucking solid. Yeah. No.
All right.
Yeah. Highly recommend.
Red Rooms. I'll check it out. And then what language is it in?
French.
Bastards. No, I'm just kidding.
It's French Canadian, so it's like not France.
Oh, we definitely could be racist against them then, right?
Well, it's okay for us to hate the French, like, of France, but French Canadians, that's like Denis Villeneuve, you know, that's him and his people.
Is it possible to be racist against French Canadians?
I don't know. I mean,
we'll find out on the next episode.
We'll find out. We'll read your comments and get the canceled letters.
In the comments, I know we like to talk about movies here, but just for a second, is it possible to be racist against French Canadians specifically?
French Canadians.
And is it morally wrong to
Is French Canada a race?
Wow.
Anyway,
a lot of questions.
Next, the other movie I watched.
Yeah, tell me.
I saw that Nosferatu remake by Robert Eggers.
I have not.
So goddamn good.
Yeah?
That's a fucking movie right there, yeah. No, absolutely loved it.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, went after hours with the wife and fan of the show, her boss.
Nice.
So he'll be excited to listen to this and hear me talking about him. Hi, Ian.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you worked with him. Ian.
He sounds handsome.
He'll love to hear that.
I know. I'm just trying to hype him up. Hey.
Anyway, so watch it with him and then the security guard who was working at the movie theater that night. He got the invite from the GM, Ian. Right. And as soon as the movie was over, the security guard's reaction was like, I don't know what the fuck that was. I ain't ever seen shit like that before. And I was walking out just like big smile on my fucking face. Like, it was awesome is what it was. That's what it was.
Oh, great. Yeah, I haven't seen a bad review of it yet.
Yeah,
I've been trying to, I mean, I don't know if there's a ton for spoilers. I know what it's about. So
it's a 100-year-old story. There's not too much to be spoiled on, but there are a few elements. I tapped through
the original last week, like literally,
yeah.
Watched a scene. I was like, all right, that's interesting, and moved along, and I finished it in like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? That's how I watched the first one recently, and it was, it's cool, but I don't think I could sit and watch that whole thing by myself. You know what I mean? Like the OG Nosferatu. I don't think I can do it.
And that's why you a bitch.
Yeah, true. I'm tapping out. But the new one, That's a little more my speed.
Yeah, so goddamn good.
Where they have dialogue? That's sick to me.
Bill Skarsgård. Hey, Bill Skarsgård's dialogue. Yeah. That dude did like Tibetan throat singing and like opera vocal training to like lower his voice a whole octave to pull the voice off, and it's just the fucking most insane shit.
Oh, sick. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, and the way he looks too is certainly a hot button issue. I'm not gonna say anything else.
Say nothing else. Okay.
Yeah.
But all right, I'll go see it.
But you do see his wiener.
You said too much. Now I can't go see it because I'm against that.
It's fine.
And I need less of that in Hollywood.
We need more of it, I say.
More dong for Mikey.
Yeah. Lily Rose Depp.
He's married to a woman. He can want more dong. It's fine.
I'm looking, but I'm not touching. Get it away from me.
You're saluting as it goes
saluting.
Sir?
Girth. Shafts at half mast for Jimmy Carter. Anyway, yeah. So Lily Rose
Carter.
Yeah, Lily Rose Depp. She's fucking fantastic too. She hasn't been in anything good, I think. I also haven't seen her in anything, but her library is pretty dire.
Oh, really?
I mean, she was in Tusk, Yoga Hosers. She was in that fucking The Idol with The Weeknd that was on HBO.
Oh yeah, that sucked, right?
Yeah, I think the most hated show that came out that year, but.
Oh, that's awesome! I love when people take big swings and big flops.
Yeah. Nothing of any good quality except for Nosferatu, where she absolutely fucking kills it, and is like up in like Oscar conversation.
Well, now she has to maintain that, and she'll be the biggest star.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in anything. I don't think so.
Again, like I didn't want to watch The Idol.
Tusk, I'm not gonna lie, I've not seen it.
I thought about picking it for this week because I was like,
yeah,
I thought about it. I was like, I wrote it down on a piece of paper with like 3 other movies. I was like, I'll pocket this one.
Yeah.
Because
I'll pick it maybe some week too. I mean, I should just watch it. I know it's like my speed. Like, I'm sure I'm gonna like it.
Yeah, and I want to watch the rest of Kevin Smith's movies. I'm a huge fan of Clerks. I enjoyed Mallrats when I watched it. What other?
Oh, and
we watched that Vulgar movie for the podcast.
Vulgar,
and that's like,
you love Vulgar.
Yeah, that's Kevin Smith adjacent.
Yeah, he plays a guy.
And and I remember like
produces it, I think.
And Kevin Smith was in Southland Tales. That happened. He was it Kevin Smith? Yeah, no, it was because he shaved his beard.
Towards the end.
Yeah, towards the end he showed up.
Was he on a gun? Or no, that wasn't him.
He was in a chair and he shaved his beard, and that's why I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Good times. Good fever dream we went on then.
Yeah. So Tusk, I know, like, also has like a lot of fucking like fans who love it and sing praises about it, but everyone also fucking hates it and thinks those people are insufferably insane. So.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch it with no expectations because I've heard
it's one of those like Gen Z loves it movies because like it's fucked up. He turns it into a walrus. And I'm like, that's stupid, but it's Justin Long, so maybe it leans into it.
Yeah, I saw Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yeah, how's that?
As good as the other two, I guess.
Sure, I saw the first one right before COVID started, and
yeah, they're all fine. I think Jim Carrey's really great. Jim Carrey's pretty funny in this one. He plays off himself. You know, I don't know if you've seen the trailer. Or anything,
he's 2 Robotniks.
Yeah, he plays an older version of himself or something, and it's pretty damn funny. But he's only in it for the second half, so
sure.
It was okay. It was Sonic movie. It was really nice to kill time. My girlfriend was sick on vacation, which I was sick at home and I was feeling like shit. So God bless her soul for being on vacation while sick. So it was the last day. We had to kill some time, and it's cold as fuck out. So we went to Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and just sat and we're tired from our vacation. Our plane was taken off in a couple hours. Sonic was on, and I was happy. So in that regards, like me and my sick girlfriend holding hands watching Sonic 3 in Seattle, kind of beautiful. You know?
Yeah. Hey,
10 out of 10
Mazel
experience.
tov.
4 out of 10 movie, maybe 5 out of
Sure.
10.
I know everyone's saying it's like the best Sonic movie, but I also don't give a shit about Sonic or any of those
Yeah.
characters.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I got nothing, I got nothing in it for me. Maybe I'll be like, I appreciate it because it's faithful and the fans love it. But what am I? I'm not getting anything out of it. I don't care about Sonic.
Yeah. I don't know if you read my thing, and I'm not going to say it here. But there's just like this one plot hole, sort of, that comes with like the big like, no, we can't do it this way, and then like there's supposed to be this big consequence, and there just never is. And it doesn't explain why, and it doesn't ever touch it again, and it just bothers the shit out of me. And I maybe I just need to rewatch it, or there could possibly be a post-credit scene that I don't know about because I didn't stay. But I'm pissed about it. And unless they make the whole fourth one about this plot hole, which I think could possibly happen. Okay. But unless they do that, I'm pissed.
Oh boy, see, let me see, because I know there is a post-credit scene, they always do, where they're like, it's a character from the game! Here you go.
Oh yeah, true. I'm sure they had a post-credit scene. I guess I don't know what it was. Sonic 3 post-credit scene. All right, let's do this live.
From the review you left, I don't think they addressed that. And maybe there's 2 post-credit scenes, but in the one that got reposted everywhere on the internet, it is not. I do not think it relates to that whatsoever.
Okay.
I was gonna ask, like, give us a play-by-play on what you're looking at, but then that spoils the ending of Sonic 3.
Yeah. It definitely feels like a really generic end credit scene thing.
Yeah.
So.
Stinger for the sequel. Someone's showing up. Someone's joining the crew.
Yeah.
They've done it for the past.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson. From Red One.
From hit movie Red One. So yeah, Sonic was good. I saw Anora, which was great. I'm sure you've heard nothing but good things as well.
Yeah, no, I've been looking forward to watching that one. I think it finally hit VOD where I can watch it at a reasonable price. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, very funny. Way funnier than I expected. I thought it was gonna be not fun. I guess I didn't expect humor, but and then A Real Pain. I watched A Real Pain as well. You haven't seen that yet, have you?
Yep, another one that's on the list, but also I think I hit VOD only for $20.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I had nothing but time this week because I was sick, so I watched all the movies. Night Bitch. Did you watch that?
I haven't. I was looking forward to it, and then all the negative reviews came out. We're like, what?
I don't know. Like if the idea of the motherhood, like Primal Instinct part is interesting to you, then cool. But like, this isn't like a cool movie where she turns into a dog and it's like fucking nuts or whatever. It doesn't really ever commit to it, you know. She grows some hairs and some nipples, and you're like, all right, I guess she's a dog. But I wanted to see like a werewolf almost.
Yeah.
I don't know what I wanted to see, but it's fine. It's good. And then I watched Rebel Ridge today.
Yeah, I saw that. That's been on my list for a minute, and also just haven't gotten to it.
I'm sick, so I got to do it, and worth it to check it out right away. It's just fun action, non-lethal Rambo. I mean, it's.
I heard about that. Yeah, no, Cinefix movie lists put out their top 10 for the year, and Rebel Ridge was on. It's like, it's non-lethal Rambo.
Yep, exactly what it is. From the first scene, I mean, the first scene is very reminiscent of the first scene in First Blood. I think it's the first scene. Anyway, so yeah, Rambo predecessor, pseudo sequel almost.
Yeah.
Reboot almost. Anyway, fantastic time. So, what else did you watch? You watch anything else?
I gotta pull up my Letterboxd diary again. I clicked off of it.
Pull it on up. You watched some crazy shit, bro.
I did. I've watched a bunch of shit. Let's see, Beverly or Hundreds of Beavers. I talked a little bit about that before the podcast, but I'll tell the podcast. I finally dragged my wife to go see it with me. It was playing at her theater, and her coworkers were there to see it too. And I was like, "This is my favorite movie of the year, the best one I've seen. Nothing's topped it." I saw it back I saw it a year ago, and I was like, "This is the best movie of the year," and it stayed that way the entire year. They hated it.
Damn.
Some of them walked out halfway through.
How many people were there?
It was me, my wife, one other person, and then I think 2 other people in the back.
And they all hated it?
One of them said it was wild. And then the two that were in the back that I told them this was the best movie of the year, they walked out. They just left. And then I guess everybody in that building thinks I'm a fucking lunatic and crazy person for not thinking Fall Guy or Deadpool and Wolverine is the best of the year. But I don't work at a movie theater anymore. I think I can like not those movies.
Yeah. Yeah, neither of those were really that great.
Fall Guy's pretty okay at best. I know my wife also gets mad at me for saying that.
Should he love it or what?
It's one of her top favorites of the year, but
of the year? Really?
Yeah. I think if I ask her again, she's gonna say Twisters is her favorite.
That's fair.
Which is also fair. That's like my number 3. So.
Man, 2024, it's a wrap.
Yeah, a lot of good movies did come out. I mean, it didn't feel as like big or impactful as like 22 and 23, but
yeah.
I mean, I think that's the thing about some people say no good movies came out this year. It's no, they did. You just didn't see any of them.
Yeah, and I think it was supposedly lighter because of the
writer's strike.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Good they got that settled.
They figured it out.
I hope it's all working out for them. But I was watching a video just kind of recapping what's coming out. I guess is that recapping? Pre-capping. Ooh, new term. Pre-capping the year.
Recapping the year.
And saying everything that's coming out, and it's fucking heavy. It's a heavy release schedule
it's a big year this year.
Back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Movies are back. They didn't go anywhere, but they're back.
Yeah, they're back harder.
So am I.
So yeah, that's damn. What else was I saying? What else did we watch? We watched 100 Beavers. We love that.
Yep. Interstellar got re-released on IMAX, and I cried.
Yeah, did you go to see it in IMAX?
I did go to see it in IMAX. I never saw it in IMAX in its original run, so I was like, I need to see this. And yeah, no, absolutely fucking bawled my eyes out at the end. I was texting my sister about it because she also cried watching it for the first time. Not for the first time actually. She watched it with her girlfriend, and she saw it for the first time and cried the entire time. I
don't remember if I cried to the end.
I was also just crying because it's I'm just watching just this insane movie happen before me, and I'm like, what a time to be alive that this movie exists.
Yeah.
So just overcome with those emotions. I mean, I fucking rock with the whole movie.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna see it in IMAX, the whole movie's gonna be fucking great.
Yeah.
I just think I've rewatched it a few times because how can you not? I think. And just that first half is just it's so necessary. I get it.
Yeah.
But man, there's a lot of good movie at the end of that movie.
Oh my god, there's a whole lot of good movie when they get through the wormhole, they're in front of the black hole, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, nothing else like this, and I'm in tears. The organ, every time that fucking organ theme plays, I'm fucking bawling my eyes out. It's what the gays are doing for Wicked, where they're holding space for Wicked.
Oh yeah.
I'm holding space for Interstellar, and I think as straight men, we should be able to hold space for Interstellar.
I'm holding space for Interstellar and Seven.
Oh yeah, I do want to also talk about Seven too, because
all the IMAX releases.
Dude, I don't know what the fuck happened to IMAX, who's in charge now, but I remember a time when the most bullshit movies would get put in IMAX because they didn't have anything to fucking fill the weekend.
Yeah.
So no one was seeing movies in IMAX unless it was a Marvel movie, and something happened after the pandemic where now they're just let's put the fucking good movies on IMAX, right? Movies that never had IMAX releases, that were not filmed for IMAX, let's put them in there.
How does
right?
that work? They must change something. It must be in IMAX
I
format. So,
I think they just like fucking like remaster it so like get the good resolution up, but I can't imagine it's anything super complicated.
yeah.
Because like if like I
Right.
know like IMAX has like the higher like ratio aspect
Sure, yeah.
ratio where it's just like taller than a normal letterboxed formatted movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if the movie's if like 7 I think is filmed like 2.35 aspect ratio, they'll just keep that aspect ratio. They don't fill it in.
Okay.
They don't format it to fill the whole screen. So
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Well, shit. And so 7 today, huh?
yeah, no, I saw 7 and that got out like 45 minutes before we started the recording.
Hell yeah.
So and like my big worry was like the whole like what's in the box scene. I thought people were going to be laughing, you
Yeah.
know, because like people don't know how to take a movie seriously anymore. But I think we were all just on the verge of like throwing up throughout that scene.
Yeah, that's
And we like it was like a solidly like a solid amount of people, like 20, 30 people in there.
nice.
And yeah, like I'm not gonna
Great
spoil it
movie.
because it's again just like a fucking just heavy scene.
It's a great end. Yeah.
It's such a good ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole time I'm just like what like building up to it. You know, I already know what's in the box. I already know what's happening. But
Yeah.
I felt like I was gonna throw up during that whole like final finale, and I think like the rest of us too, because like I walked out and I heard like murmurings from some people's like that was so fucked up, but it was so good.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
People's
so
first watches. That's great.
yeah,
I love that. I love experiencing first watches in like that, a re-release into IMAX or something, like experiencing it like instead
Yeah.
of just on your TV. Yeah, hell yeah.
It's and fucking great, and we got some like insane fucking IMAX movies coming too. Like I don't know if
Good.
you saw the trailer for it, but like Ryan Coogler's new movie Sinners,
Yeah. Yeah.
that looks
I think
insane.
I did.
And like the IMAX specific trailer looks fucking crazy
Really?
because like the aspect ratio is like ultra wide, which is thinner than just the standard like 235
Yeah.
ratio. It's thinner than that. So they'll like have footage from that, and then they'll just cut to just the full IMAX size, and it looks like the craziest shit ever.
Yeah.
Just that hard cut between again, just like normal indoor shot. It's like the aspect ratio is like framed tighter, and then you'll just cut to Michael B. Jordan, full IMAX ratio, jacked
Fuck
out of
yeah.
his fucking mind, shooting a Tommy gun at the camera, and I'm just
hell
like,
yeah. Sold.
absolutely, yeah, just fucking sold.
Yep. Get my ticket now. Yeah. Sick.
Yeah,
So it sounds like a theater watch, like a
absolutely,
gotta see that
yeah,
one in
no,
theaters. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to fucking see that in IMAX.
Hell yeah.
That that's getting an
Um,
IMAX release. Mickey 17's getting an IMAX release. That was supposed to come out like in like this month, January,
Yeah.
but they pushed it back so it could have an IMAX weekend.
Ugh.
I
And it was
mean,
filmed for IMAX?
I don't know, but again, like half the movies
I
that
feel
do
like
get
most of them aren't.
yeah, most movies that get an IMAX release are not filmed with IMAX cameras.
Right.
'Cause
And they're just on the bigger screen, really.
Yeah,
right?
it's just the bigger screen, better sound system, but
Sure.
which again enough for some people, but
I
like,
never if it's a movie not filmed for IMAX and I was paying full price, I wouldn't pay the IMAX. I would just go to the regular, to be honest with you.
I like the IMAX, but I'm also a
just-
little on the same
so-
page with you. I mean, I did see 7 in IMAX, so I can't really like say I'm
Well,
on your side, but
all the IMAXs are so goddamn different too. The one that we worked at was fantastic. Was huge. Had 2 projectors. A lot of them don't have 2 projectors. Did you know that?
really,
A lot of the theater I went to in Seattle, I remember going to the IMAX there to see
Red One.
yes, and it was great. No, Hunger Games, the very last Hunger Games installment. And I don't remember much from it, but I remember being so disappointed in this Seattle's IMAX because I thought it was going to be the same size as the Seattle IMAX at the Science Museum, which if you haven't been there, if you don't, I don't know how often you go to Seattle, but that fucking screen is massive, massive, massive. Like Minnesota Zoo, like
Yeah.
Big Bear.
R.I.P. the Great Clips IMAX Zoo.
Right, and those are great theaters. But then there's some that you walk into, you're like, this just feels like a big regular theater.
Yeah. No, like
And that's
the IMAX at the Eden Prairie Mall is that same situation, where like
Yeah.
we like at the Odyssey Theater, big screen. Even if you
Yeah.
go to like the Southdale AMC, they've got a pretty solid IMAX. I like going to that one whenever I'm seeing a movie there. I think Rosedale's got a pretty good one. I don't make it out that far that often, but they got a nice laser projector. The Eden Prairie Mall sucks.
Yeah.
Their IMAX is terrible. It's
And
it's
then
much
there's
smaller.
like different IMAXs too. Like if you ever looked at an AMC like schedule, actually really interesting. Friend of the show, I think he's friend, right? Vince. Is he not enemy right now? Is he?
No, he's
On
the,
what terms are we on?
He's friend of the show. Don't worry about it.
Oh, fantastic. Go look up the theater that he goes to. I did that once because he was watching 5 movies in a day. So I looked up on my AMC app.
AMC Disney Springs, yeah.
Yeah, have you looked up the showtime? It's like a whole different world at that place. There's like a million different IMAXs and Dolbys, and like they're showing so much shit. It looks like a fucking paradise there. I mean, there's so many options. So beautiful.
And
big
then
mega theaters are nuts.
Well, here's the thing though, he gets jealous because he doesn't have a theater like the Trilon down in Florida.
Yeah.
I took him up to, when he was in town for the wedding. We went to the Trilon, watched Who Killed Captain Alex, and he was so jealous of the Trilon. He was like, "I wish there was something here.
Yeah.
I wish there was something like
there
this."
should be.
Yeah.
And honestly, why isn't there? You know, I think that's the success of Trilon, and probably many other theaters like it will start to pick up more because you see them sold out constantly.
And the thing is,
how much is it going to cost to open a microcinema? Like somebody's going to figure out how to do it and like make a chain of it, and they're going to make a lot of money.
But then you got, and then that just becomes a regular chain theater at that point.
I know, but that's inevitable.
I mean,
it's a chain theater. It's a chain theater. It doesn't have the same like love and whatever as Trilon, but like it would try to imitate that, and it would play the same films if it could. I think there's probably a lot more to it than I'm letting on because I think there's a lot of volunteers, and I don't know how programming a theater.
No, the
like
Trilon's entirely nonprofit and volunteer run.
Right.
Like for them to like show the movies that they are showing, they work very hard to try and get some of them. Like I think they get like a print of like Eyes Wide Shut coming like at the end of the month, and I'm sure that was a pain in the ass to get a hold of.
Oh sure, yeah. I mean, especially with the actual film.
Yeah, no, like they like like.
Well,
some
and
of
if there was a chain, listen to this. If there was a chain, you could get that film and then pass it around your chain, and your schedule could rotate around the country. You want to start a business with me?
No, I don't want to do that.
Microcinema.
Microcinema imitation. I'll just go to the Trilon if I want the experience. I think it's also because like they work with like the Cult Film Collective, and they work diligently to try and try to just like locate rare prints, like last like copies of movies that exist on print, like.
Oh yeah. There's tons of jobs like that.
I think when I went to the Horrorthon at the Trilon in October, they had a copy of Catherine Bigelow's Near Dark on film, and they're like, this is one of 3 prints left in the U.S. So like that's the kind of shit they're like pulling. You're not gonna be able to like fucking keep track of that, manage that as a chain theater. They're just gonna opt for the fucking digital version.
Listen, let me make all the money. I'm gonna make all the money.
All right, fine, yeah, go. What it?
So
I'm just trying to tell you.
I'm gonna bring Microcinema to every city. Actually, a lot of cities already probably have one. Duluth has a kind of a cool.
Yeah, the
Microcinema. Yeah,
I mean, it's got 2 screens. I feel like that's micro.
I guess I don't know what counts. I mean, Trilon's unique in it that it got dug out, right? I mean, it's in like a It's a very non-conventional building for a theater, for sure.
Oh yeah.
And they really had to make that room, like, I think they had to dig it out. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, they can fit 90 people in there though.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's so
Yeah.
impressive. I would love to see that everywhere. I mean, maybe not even to the extent of that, but like, just Microcinemas playing fun movies. You know, they don't have to be on film all the time.
I mean, I got my like January calendar pretty stacked for seeing movies.
Yeah.
Even just like in theaters and at the Alamo Draft House too, because they show a lot of. They're doing the fun random movies. I think they're playing Speed
did they
Racer.
close and then reopen?
They did, yeah. They went. I think they filed for bankruptcy, and then Sony, the company, bought them,
Okay.
which ruffled a few feathers because then they're like, we outlawed this because like studios used to own theaters back in the 30s, and then they would only play their own movies.
Well.
So then I think Sony's like, no, we're doing this because we love the Draft House. So.
Good.
Yeah, so they're backing up and running as if nothing happened, except for a few website bugs here and there.
I do kind of want to go to the Lonely Island Pop Star.
The fucking Pop Star movie party, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's in like a month.
Yeah, February.
Tomorrow.
Anyway, we have a movie to talk about.
Let's do it.
We've been rambling for longer than normal.
Great.
So last episode, you picked Uncle Boonmee, who can recall his past lives.
Yes, I did. Uncle Boonmee.
From 2010 and from Thailand. What did you think?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I will say that. Yeah, but I was sitting with it for a while, but not in like I'm reading all the reviews on Letterboxd, and I don't feel as everyone else seems to.
Yeah.
I think it was a cool movie, but I think it left a lot to be desired in a few places. Like, but all these reviews that I'm reading, okay, are saying that it is meant to be just call it a tone poem, whatever you want to call it. It's meant to have that. Like, you want to learn about the monkey ghost? No, you don't get to. And like that's fine. The movie's just like you just get all of it. You get bits and pieces, and then whatever you come away with is what you got. And I don't know. I wanted a little more. I wanted a little bit more. I loved the first scene where the dinner table where the ghosts start appearing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It went too many different places, I think, for me, and then also maybe a little bit too slow for me.
It's another one of them slow cinema movies. I mean, like, the only ones we've watched, the only other slow movie we watched for the podcast was that Werner Herzog Heart of Glass.
Heart of Glass, yeah.
Yeah, which
I was thinking about it while we were watching this one.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, like, not the same by any stretch. This one's definitely certainly a lot more like meditative about death and like
yeah. I love the vibe of it, the look of it.
Specifically, like Thai Buddhism, where Werner Herzog's movie is like, like hypnotic in a trance, and we're dealing with like community falling apart.
Well, almost like speaking of that, I mean, I didn't really put this together, but these guys feel like they're in a trance. I feel like maybe that's kind of how Thai people talk in general, sort of. But like, damn, there's some dry delivery, very purposefully. Like they're not surprised by ghosts. They're not.
You get the one guy, like the physician for Uncle Boonmee, who like comes in and sees like a ghost and a monkey man. He's like, "What's going on here?" And then like Uncle Boonmee's like, "Don't worry about it. That's my dead wife, and this is my son."
Yep. And
just like, move past it. Move past it. They're here to. We're here to think.
And I guess that's kind of what the movie wants the audience to do as well. And I liked it. It kept my interest the whole time.
Yeah.
Even these long, slow shots where I'm like, all right, they could cut from some of this. I think, like, besides getting restless in some of those, most of it was great. I think there was a little lull in a couple moments, of course, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's. I think I'm on the same page as you, where it's like I definitely also enjoyed it, and then I'm seeing like everyone else's reactions, a lot of like the top reviews and posts, and just seeing
Yeah.
like everybody getting like something monumental out of it, and I'm like, I'm not seeing that. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
like a skill
I'm
issue on my part or
I'm feeling the same way, and I do really enjoy reading those reviews and feeling that insightfulness. But like, it's not their reviews might be great, make me think of the movie better, but doesn't make me like the movie that much more. I guess none of them have yet. None of them have like clicked with me. I'm like, I didn't really realize that. I didn't think about that. None of that. None of them that I'm reading, or I even listened to a couple YouTube videos. I'm like, what are people? This is one you just want to talk about. You want to fucking dive in a little bit more, and like, you got all these kind of questions and awkward
yeah.
feelings, and so you want to see what everybody else is saying, and I just can't. I just don't agree with the people. I don't got the spark that everybody else is getting. I think it was fine. It was super competently made, of course. It looks beautiful.
Everything's definitely done like with specific purpose.
Yeah, the lighting was really cool. I loved how all the foreground was just dark as hell all the time. I think that, like, choices like that were really cool. But none of it. I wanted it like that cave scene that everybody seems to really, really love. I thought was great, but like, I thought there was going to be a scene like that was going to like fucking hit me and move me, and that scene didn't do it, and none of them really did. Okay, let's talk about the important part, the middle of the movie.
I think before you even say anything, I think I know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the elephant or the catfish in the room.
The catfish in the room.
That lady got ate out by a catfish.
Yeah, that
pretty
totally
aggressively.
Yeah. Listen, that was Uncle Boonmee. He was the catfish.
That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe he's like kind of the offspring of them, but also like they are him. Like, that's how
that's
perfectly
the thing
vague
about
this is.
That's the thing. Like, like I think like one of the top users was like, "This life is all lives. We are already something else." That's just his review. 5 stars, and I'm like, okay, don't know what that means. But if Uncle Boonmee's a catfish eating out the princess of this life he lived, maybe he is everything. Maybe Uncle Boonmee's already lived every possible life.
It's or maybe the specific one with the catfish and the sexualness.
It was funny. Like the princess like mulling over, like she's like, I'm ugly. Someone love me, and then the catfish Boonmee's like, hey, what's up? I'm not a ghost. I'm a catfish, and you see like the little head bopping out of the water a little bit.
I know. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't hate the scene either, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no, like
it was goofy, and I laughed out loud for sure, but I didn't hate it. And then
I didn't hate it either.
The bubbles thing was a little bit disorienting for a second. Do you remember that? Remember when the camera went underwater and it was just bubbles and bubbles and it was spinning and spinning?
Yeah.
It kind of took me out for a second. But I saw one person say they really liked that, and I'm like, that's cool. I think it went on a little too long and I had to look away. I don't know why the bubbles were so irritating to my eyes. So yeah, that scene happens and then comes and goes. And yeah, I don't know. I think, and I don't think most people would probably not agree with this. I think trim this movie down, and I think it would be better for me.
Sure.
Let's say that. For me, it would have been better if I could have just, skipped through a minute of a couple different scenes, minute here, minute there. I think
the movie works for its runtime. I mean, again, like it is slow cinema. It is you are supposed to just be with the movie, meditate it a lot. Most of the cinematography in this movie is set back. Like you like the camera's like taking a step back from everything that's happening. Like the dinner scene and everything like that. And then when it cuts to the other side of the table, when we meet Uncle Boonmee's long lost ape son, we cut to just sitting across from him. It's very jarring because now we're in it. Now we're listening to him. Yeah, now we're listening to his tale about trying to find the monkey spirits of the forest and then finding him and banging him.
Yeah, I was so interested in all of that plot, and maybe that's part of like why I know that this movie makes sense where the plots don't have to like continue and whatever. It doesn't have to. But like I wanted that one too. I want to know more about that.
Yeah.
I definitely want to know more about that. You
Yeah.
said you fucked a monkey ghost, sir? And people are here like you that want to eat what, our souls, or just us sick people? I don't.
The thing is, like, a lot of that stuff comes from just like Thai culture and lore. So like,
I guess I could read
like
that,
as like Western Americans, we don't fucking get it, and the movie's not here to explain it to us because like
Yeah.
people from Thailand already know about it. They're like, that's
Right.
that's the monkey guy. That's the monkey spirit. I know that guy. I've seen him.
Yeah. I fucked them.
That's
I made it with a
that's my
monkey
grandma.
ghost, and
Yeah. So, but
downhill from there.
I think like the real like crux of the movie, too,
Mhm.
is just like I know again like the whole like thing is like Uncle Boonmee's like got kidney failure. He's dying. He doesn't have much left. I think it's like the movie's like not about like accepting death. It's like we've already accepted it. And now we're just like here. You know.
Yeah.
So and like part of that process is just like being like like in that moment, you know, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Just like we're here,
suppose.
we're waiting it out. What else can we do but just hang out and just
go
get
spelunking and then
get
drain
ready
your
for it. Yeah.
liver.
Yeah, his kidneys.
Or kidney?
Yeah, it's his
Kidney,
kidneys.
my
Yeah.
bad. That was how it was cool. It was it really was a great scene. But like it didn't have like he dies and then it's just I guess it didn't do anything about his past lives really. I don't know.
See, I think that's also like again, I expected, you know, like out of body, we're floating through time and space, you know, like that's when I was a catfish, that's when I was a different person, you know, this is where I'm going next, but it doesn't.
That's
really,
not the movie.
like,
it is right.
It never announces any of those moments.
Right.
Because you know, again, like we get like just the hard cuts to, you know, the princess getting carried through the woods, and then she gets eaten out by catfish Boonmee.
Yeah.
And then after he dies, we meet like this other monk who's also kind of scared about being a monk, and I think that is like the next life. You know, like just jumped forward a bit. And you even get like a little bit of like out of body in those like final moments of that final scene.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Really interesting, and I don't really know if I have a take on what it.
Yeah.
I literally out loud said, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
And then I never really. I was like, oh, "Cool." I mean, interesting. I guess are these guys ghosts? Are any of us ghosts?
Yeah.
Why even have questions about death? None of it makes sense. Why should I try to make sense of any of it? So this movie doesn't need to make sense. I am Boonmee. Shut up.
You've got it. You figured it out.
I figured
Maybe.
it out.
I
I'm
don't-
Boonmee.
Maybe. Again, it really is just like like up to just the utmost interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, again, I still enjoyed it for what it is. Again, like haven't taken the dive into like slow cinema, you know, like the Tarkovsky movies, you know, where it's just like you're watching a dude stand in a field for 10 minutes. You know, like, and then you're like, this is about the fall of communism. It's like, I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm still watching, you know, like fucking movies about slugs eating people. But as sort of like, like a first kind of like experience into that, this and Heart of Glass, I think definitely like work for like setting that mood of like what to expect.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like a real slow movie like that I really love.
Again, those are the
And
only
off
two.
the top of my head, I can't think of any. I know I've watched more because I've been bored at movies and thought they were way too slow.
But it's never like on purpose where it is just again.
Yeah, I suppose.
Like a Tarkovsky.
I mean, I know I have.
Or
Gaspar Noé is a great example of some of the weird, slow. Okay, not climax though.
Yeah, no, climax
certainly
is, like,
not slow.
fucking breakneck.
Um,
The only other Gasper No I've seen is Enter the Void, and that was like years ago.
that movie's fucking. I feel similar about that movie to these movies. Like, it's sure is good. I don't know if I get it, and that's all right. Sure was an experience.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that's all I can really say about Uncle Boonmee, who can recall
Uncle
his past
Boonmee.
lives. I think at one point I think at one point Uncle Boonmee said that he could not remember any of his past lives. He goes to the cave. He's like,
Literally says that.
I think this is where I came from.
Yeah.
I think this is where my first life started. And it was like, do you remember or not?
Yeah, he specifically says, like, I can't. I don't know if he says recall or remember or whatever, but he says he can't, and I'm like, the movie says you can.
Yeah, we've been misled.
What the fuck?
But honestly, that's like an unserious criticism I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would watch it again. To be honest with you, as much as I dislike the slow pace and stuff, I feel it probably is very necessary to capture that.
Yeah.
That real essence of, and maybe I wasn't patient enough, and that's why I didn't like it enough. So, maybe that's on me.
Yeah, and
Maybe that's on Boonmee.
Yeah, and again, like going in for a rewatch, we already know what to expect. We already know what movie this is, and we can pick it apart easier.
Yeah, and I don't know if this guy has other. I know this guy has other movies.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd benefit me to see more of just this style. Maybe I don't know, but you know what? If someone can make me love this movie as much as some of the people that I'm seeing, so many people, by the way, this isn't like, it doesn't feel very like divisive. It's pretty loved on this Letterboxd site.
Yeah. I think it won like the Palme d'Or. Also, I could be wrong with that. Like
it popped up at the beginning, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But so out of 5, what are you gonna give it out of 5?
3.5.
Yeah, I don't remember what I said for mine.
I don't think you posted about it.
I don't think I did.
Post about it.
3.5. Yeah, I didn't post about it. You're right. Uncle Boonmee. I'm gonna go. It feels like a solid 3 to me.
Sure.
Solid 3. I really enjoy. I enjoyed my time. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I don't need to understand my time. I just have to enjoy my time.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's all I got for Uncle Boonmee. I mean, it certainly I feel like it does fit on the watch list.
Does it belong on the watch list? Confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I feel like if you show this to some like fresh out of college film kid, he's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But
I have one more thing to say about this fucking movie because it's a story about watching. So, two things. The first thing being, how scared were you when you saw these fucking red eyes for the first time?
that was like, listen, yeah, no, like the first like 5 minutes of the movie where you're like following the dude in his cow around, and then you just like jump cut to the shadow guy with the red eyes, the forest monkey.
That was great.
I genuinely do like love that, and then it just cuts to
unnerving.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking insane. So, especially because again, it's just ambient forest silence too.
Right.
There's no like jump scare to it.
It's just so scary.
Yeah.
So my story now. I'm watching this movie. I'm sick as fuck, so I'm up all night. Whatever. I'm watching this movie at like 6 a.m. and the scene where the monkey son comes up the stairs.
Yeah.
With his red eyes. It's very freaky. My girlfriend wakes up and sits on the couch to watch this movie with me a couple minutes before that scene happens. And then he comes up on the screen. And can you imagine just like being in a half stupor? You're kind of awake. It's dark in your basement. And then that thing is just like, that's what you see when you wake up. It was startling for me, and I was fully awake. Yeah. So she's like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, I don't know, but it was earlier in the movie, and it was scary then.
Yeah.
So
and then like you immediately like follow that up with him just be like, "It's me, your son. I'm a monkey man now," and he like steps into the light, and he looks like fucking Chewbacca, and he's talking about like,
luscious lips.
"I've been in the forest for 10 years.
This fucking monkey ghosts.
I've been looking for this monkey spirit I took a photo of, and I found them, and I became them." He's very like he's like line delivery is very like slow, as you like said earlier.
I really liked that scene, that whole scene, and I loved their character design. I mean, maybe not so much in the light, but definitely the glowing red eyes works.
Oh, yeah,
works big time. It was great. Fucking unnerving. So, let me give it another half star for that. 3.5 stars out of 5, Uncle Boonmee, for being a little bit spooky with your eyes.
Perfect.
All right. All right. We got to pick a new movie for next podcast.
Got the movie ready to go. This one I have been consciously aware of, I think, for about 10 years now. Okay. I've had a DVD of it for just about as long. And I have picked Repo, the Genetic Opera, from 2008, from director Darren Lynn Bousman of the Saw franchise fame. So he directed Saws 2, 3, 4, and Spiral from the Book of Saw.
Okay, this is a short-ass movie, isn't it?
98 minutes, so not super short, but...
I thought it was like an hour for some reason.
But it's
I watched this in high school, and I don't remember much. I watched it the same night I watched Rocky Horror Picture Show, if you can imagine that, for the first time. So I don't remember much, but I love a musical.
I think there's like the second musical we've had if we count Dancer in the Dark.
Oh yeah, what a flick.
But Repo the Genetic Opera, not your parents' opera is the tagline. So we're in for some like a borderline grindhouse thing, shenanigans.
I wonder if this thing holds up. I mean, 2008.
It's got its fans.
I bet it feels very... I mean, looking at just this one screenshot on Letterboxd, it just looks 2008 to me. I don't know. But the year is 2056, an epidemic... No, I'm just kidding. Okay, next episode.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, you can watch it on Prime Video, Tubi, Vudu, for free.
We love Tubi. I love Tubi so much.
Yeah. So, Repo the Genetic Opera for the next episode.
All right.
Closing thoughts out of you, sir.
Don't forget to wash behind your ears.
You heard it here first. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Be sure to rate, listen, subscribe, do whatever you please. And we'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.